Hello and welcome to ZTN News Blitz. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Owen Kaura. Let's take a look at the headlines. A war vet dies in registration queue. Man murdered over 10 kilograms of maize. Male contraceptive pill, 99% effective. And in sport, Rhinos seek to bounce back. But first, ZANU-PF First Secretary President Emmerson Mnangagwa has warned the party leaders causing confusion in the party that they will fall by the wayside. Addressing the party's Politburo in Harare on Thursday, President Emmerson Mnangagwa said unity is the key which will keep the party intact. He also encouraged leaders to always strive to improve people's livelihoods instead of prioritizing personal interests. The president further emphasized the need for people to be vaccinated and observe World Health Organization COVID-19 guidelines. The Commission says all is now in place for the by-elections to be held on Saturday. ZEC teams are already at the polling stations to allow voters to check for their names. ZEC spokesperson Jasper Mangwana speaks.
The Electoral Commission is pleased to notify the public that we are ready for the by-elections happening on Saturday. And today our polling stations are open, our people are there. Those who want to go there and inspect their names, they can visit and inspect their names. We also want to urge the people that are participating in these by-elections to note that there are polling stations where there shall be two voters' rolls, where one will be able to vote for the local authority in the National Assembly. And also some might find themselves voting for National Assembly but not able to vote for the local authority because of the law in how the two voters' rolls are written in the law. And then maybe another issue is also to encourage the public to observe social distancing, mask up, sanitize, because we're in the times of COVID. It's also important for them to ensure that they're also protected, because public health is a concern to the Commission. We are ready as a Commission, our officers on the ground, our secretariat is ready to assist people with.
Following the launch of an e-passport bio-enrollment center in Bulawayo yesterday, Acting Registrar General Henry Machiri says another center will be open before the end of the year. Prior to the latest development, e-passports were only obtained in Harare.
Yes, we have decentralized the e-passport to Bulawayo, but we will further decentralize the e-passport within Bulawayo. They will be having a second passport office by the end of the year.
66-year-old woman from Bulawayo collapsed and died in a queue this week as she waited to register under the ongoing vetting exercise of non-competent and ex-political detainees at Elangeni Institute. Bulawayo Police spokesperson Inspector Bedniko Ngwe confirmed the incident to ZTN, adding that investigations are in progress.
I confirm we're investigating a case of sudden death eka mama ochonileyo isikhathi ebesemsebenzini wakhe eselayinini.
Now, the construction of a new fire station, which is part of the $300 million Byte Bridge modernization project, is nearing completion. The fire station, an animal quarantine, sewer oxidation dam, a landfill, roads upgrading, construction of 220 staff houses, and 11.4 megalitres are some of the out-of-port facilities under construction. Zim Borders Consortium's General Manager Ngobile Ngube said the fire stations will address the perennial fire and emergency rescue services deficiencies in the border town.
This development is part of the border post expansion program, but as you can see, this is the development and the construction of a fire station, the first of its kind within Byte Bridge. And this is going to be a milestone achievement because it is going to assure the broader community of Byte Bridge, about 56,000 people that are local here, the safety when it comes to having emergencies.
This is a case of necessity driving innovation. Zimbabwe's electricity generation cannot meet demand, while its transmission network is run down and unreliable. Solar energy is stepping in to fill the gaps. From mines, manufacturers, and farming estates, more and more companies are investing in their own electricity, weaning themselves off from unreliable grid power. ZTN correspondent Taguchi Ambakwe shares more from his recent visit to Solgas Energy.
Two years ago, this 9-hectare plot was a hive of activity as artisans joined nuts and bolts, laying a foundation for an ambitious energy project. Fast forward to 24 months, things have changed. The 5-megawatt solar power plant worth $7 million is now fully operational and feeding into the national grid. A jubilant Solgas Energy Chief Executive Officer could not hide his joy.
I'm over the moon. I think my whole team, the shareholders, the board of directors, we've been getting phone calls everywhere. Our families, we're full of pride. I think it's something that we wanted to do really well. It's something that we wanted to do to make sure that the community here is proud of what we've done in their local area.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa commissioned the plant, which is both spearheaded and financed by locals.
I am honored and privileged to officiate at this commissioning ceremony of the Solgas Private Limited 5-megawatt solar power plant here in Hwange district. This project will undoubtedly contribute to the quest to realize energy self-sufficiency in our country, more so as we accelerate and industrialize.
The project, President Mnangagwa said, will increase output from renewable energy as Zimbabwe takes baby steps to go green.
This investment is in line with the National Renewable Energy Policy, which targets increasing the contribution of renewable energy to the electricity supply mix from about 6% in 2019 to about 27 or 30% by 2030. Solar power is a critical renewable energy source.
Solgas now plans to expand to the country's 10 provinces.
Our dream is to have one of these in every province, and I feel it's doable. I think we can do something like that. We can do that ourselves. 5 megawatts in every province is 50 megawatts, and then we grow from there. I think we've demonstrated here that we've got people who if we work together, pension funds, banks, developers, etc., we can pull this off.
But for the plant to exist, someone had to provide the required $7 million. After knocking on several doors and almost giving up, Old Mutual Investment Group came through and paid the bills.
So as investors, we sat down and spoke to Solgas, and we realized that we've got one goal. This is our third success story actually in the last few years. So given our strategy and its alignment with what Solgas wanted to do, we just thought it was a perfect partnership.
Old Mutual is not stopping there. They are ready to be part of the Solgas expansion drive.
For us, it's all about what is it that we're getting out of a project. So as long as the returns are good for our policyholders, we'll definitely consider.
So behind me here is the switchyard where power that's generated from the solar farm is then taken up into the national grid. One thing that's exciting about the whole setup here is the fact that this is being supervised by local engineers. The Solgas Chief Executive Officer believes that students in local colleges, universities, and even polytechnics can now come through and be trained about such engineering.
So look, once we start doing this ourselves, it gives more opportunities for more training, opportunities for kids in colleges, kids in universities. We can have skills transfers. People can come here and learn apprenticeships. Once you do things ourselves, we can always find ways of how we can empower other young people.
Solgas is one of the many initiatives being undertaken in Matabeleland North, which will eventually become Zimbabwe's energy hub. A number of major projects are at different phases of construction in the province. You talk of the Gwai Shangani and the completion of Wange 7 and 8 expansion project. Taku Chiambakwe for ZTN News.
And from energy to water issues, the city of Harare says it has increased its water supply from 20% to about 65%. This means that an estimated 65% of the city's suburbs now have water coming out of their taps. 35% of residential areas in the capital do not have tap water, and residents rely on alternative sources, some of which are not safe. Acting Town Clerk Engineer Pakamile Moyo said water production had increased from 220 megalitres per day in 2020 to about 350 megalitres per day this year.
We have evidence from the Upper Manyano Catchment Council that sales of water from water delivering trucks have gone down by at least 60%, which means more people are accessing water from City of Harare, and our water is at least 10%, cost 10% of what people used to pay. An average truck was costing about $60 for 5 cubic meters, and City of Harare is only charging you $5 per 50 cubic meters. So I would expect that those who have stopped buying water can also pay water from the City of Harare. So we are also in the process of installing new meters.
Zimbabwe joined the rest of the world in marking World Water Day, but some residents in the capital who have not received water from the local authorities said this was really, well, there was really little to celebrate.
The only nearest bowl, I think, is this one, which is Kupaktown. So we have to travel about, it's almost about 3 k's to come for water. But actually we would want to get more of these, like where you promote and find out how best we can improve in fact the water situation in certain areas, to which maybe then we can say we can celebrate World Water Day. But in this case, well, I wouldn't say there's anything to celebrate, because if I have to travel 3 kilometers to come and get water this side here, then there's nothing to really celebrate.
Mvura inonetsa. Chinoitika nchokuti pamwe inobuda mvura ine tsvina zvokuti amugona kuinwa. Pamwe wakaichera zviya wakagadzika bhaketi pasi unoona ine mazerere anoratidza kuti itori netsvina. Saka iye yakanaka kuti inenge isina tsvina, inenge yakakava yakavharika. Vazhinji vanotoishandisa, vamwe vanotonwa. Inenge yakanaka.
Zvinotongorwadza. Bhuzi itangokura chimwe pati. Mvura yepatipi haikubhoyi kutofambira kuita vanhu. Zvatongokuti zvangu musystem yevanhu tatojairawo zvedu kuti mvura yekanzuru mazuva ano haichamwiwa naumwe ipabhoho, but zvinotorwadza. Ngavagadzire mvura yekanzuru, timwe yedu yekanzuru yatajaira.
And now on to our crime watch. A Harare man has appeared in court on allegations of attempted murder after he broke his friend's legs and knocked out his teeth after an altercation at a beer drinking spot in Harare. The reasons behind the altercation were not clear. Tawanda Chari allegedly assaulted Tawanda Magwaro with a hammer and iron bar and stones, leaving him with a broken leg and knocked out front teeth. Magwaro could not attend court as he's admitted to Pararinyato Group of Hospitals in Harare. Harare Magistrate Yokai Zuda remanded Chari to 11 April and advised him to approach the High Court for bail. And a man from Seke in Zimbabwe's Mashonaland East Province is on the run after allegedly killing his friend over a bag of maize. Edwin Captain allegedly struck Bernard Caserera with an iron bar, accusing him of stealing a bag of maize the pair had been given after some menial work at another village's homestead. Captain fled the scene after the alleged crime, and police have since launched a manhunt for him. Mashonaland East Provincial Police spokesperson Inspector Simon Chazowachi confirmed the incident to ZTN.
ZRP Dema is investigating a murder case where Bernard Caserera, aged 33 of Sundai village, Chief Seke, died after he was allegedly struck with an iron bar by his friend Edwin Captain, aged 35, of Shakata village. Police are appealing for information that can lead to the arrest of Edwin Captain in connection with the murder. We urge members of the public not to resort to violence or assaulting each other, but to seek counseling from community leaders and relatives. They should also report such cases to the police for justice to prevail. Let us value life and desist from a culture of violence.
The Bloemfontein High Court in South Africa has sentenced a father to life imprisonment for murdering his 3-year-old son in October last year. Gift Hendrik Stander, aged 25, was convicted of strangling, wrapping the child in a plastic bag and hiding his lifeless body under his bed. A team of scientists in the US has developed an oral male contraceptive that it says is 99% effective in mice without causing side effects and could enter human trials by the end of the year. The findings will mark a key step towards expanding birth control options as well as responsibilities for men. A 46-year-old man from the UK, Stuart Middleton, has undergone 2 operations to receive new kidneys from donors. But he was shocked when he woke up after the second procedure and was told that all 4 kidneys were still inside his body. The father of 2 had assumed that the failed organs would be removed, but says he's just happy to be alive. And President Vladimir Putin says Russia will only accept payments in rubles for gas deliveries to unfriendly countries, which include all EU members, after Moscow was hit by Western sanctions over Ukraine. And the story taking us to sports news.
If not stopped, annoying insects can affect your life. Mortine is scientifically formulated to kill up to 100% of flying and crawling insects in seconds. Mortine kills 100% of insects in seconds.
And in sport, the Runyararo Northern Region Division 1 League is proving to be not for the faint-hearted. Simba Bora learned the hard way as they suffered a 1-0 defeat to Commando Bullets yesterday. The defeat leaves the ambitious side third on the log and 4 points behind log leaders Herentals, who are on 34 points after their 1-0 win over Comegan FC. The region has proved to be highly competitive, with the second-placed Golden Eagles also dismissing Karoi United 3-1 in what was Gilbert Mshangajike's first game in charge after the departure of Joel Lupatla. Simba Bora coach Arthur Tutani believes they're still on course despite yesterday's setback.
No, our away record is still intact. Why am I saying it's still intact? We have only lost twice out of how many games?
And now on to the PSL. After a 2-1 defeat to Chicken Inn their last game, Black Rhinos say they must try and recover when they face the Bulawayo Chiefs at Sakuva on Saturday.
We played very well against Chicken Inn, but maybe we lacked concentration towards the end of the game. Imagine 83 minutes we conceded a goal, then 2 minutes later we conceded another goal. But it's now water under the bridge. We need to quickly recover and focus our game with the Chiefs, which I think is going to be a massive game for us. We need to quickly come back.
All 9 PSL matches are lined up this weekend. Ngezi Platinum versus Chicken Inn headline the Saturday games, and that match will be live on ZTN. On Saturday, Herentals face Caps United at the National Sports Stadium, while on Sunday, Harare City continue their rivalry against Dynamos at the same venue. Those games will also be live here on ZTN. And now on to cricket. The Zimbabwe Domestic Cricket T20, which has started today, promises fireworks. Our reporter, Ntando Tsigane, is at Harare Sports Club.
An exciting afternoon it is here at the Harare Sports Club, where domestic T20 cricket has commenced. Now, earlier on, we witnessed the Alliance Health Eagles women's team take on the Tuskers, and they started their title defense by winning with 94 runs. However, we're about to witness the men's team, Mountaineers, taking on the Eagles, and more details are to be given as the game proceeds.
And that's all we have for you on ZTN News Blitz. Thank you very much for joining us. Do stay with us. Up next, Hold in 5.